Before we start today's video, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to Slcmof and Irogen for creating quality Arkham content that I can watch on a regular basis, and also being just a general news source for all of my Batman gaming news. You guys have been a huge help, and also thanks to Slcmof because now I'm addicted to watching Miles Morales streams. Thanks for that. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode on the GDI channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad, what to expect from both of them, and in the end, which game I personally believe is going to turn out with a more quality output. So first things first, I wanted to get things started on the price and the selling points of these games. Now, we don't know the official prices of either of these just yet, but we do have release dates alongside some unofficial selling points of these two. So rumors were going around that Gotham Knights would be anywhere from $30 to $60, and the rumors that have been officially confirmed, not by WB Montreal, but by other credible sources, is that the game will be $30. Now, the Gotham Knights game, for the gameplay that we've seen, it looks pretty quality. It's not Arkham level stuff, but it is definitely up there as far as game quality goes. Now, I was a little bit concerned about one thing, and that's the graphics of this game. Now, it is a pre-alpha build, but the graphics of this game seemed a little bit worrying, especially comparative to the cinematic trailer. Now, as far as the Suicide Squad cinematic trailer goes, we know that that's going to be reminiscent of the actual gameplay, considering the line that Rocksteady has been able to maintain in the recent years. The only time that I can see like a huge major difference between gameplay and the cinematic trailers in a Rocksteady game is Arkham City back in 2011 with their cinematic trailer, which was huge compared to the actual game graphics. But with their recent comings and Arkham Knight, I feel like Rocksteady is at a more stable place now. So with the argument that we don't know what the gameplay of Suicide Squad is going to look like just yet, I'd like to contradict that because I think we all know Suicide Squad is going to look exactly like, if not better, than the cinematic trailer, because Rocksteady has been able to continuously impress us for a very long time, ever since 2015 when Arkham Knight came out. And they did stumble a little bit there, but that brings me on to my next point of quality, which is what Rocksteady and what WB Montreal want to do with their independent games. Now, WB Montreal obviously wants to focus on the Bat family with this game, and they're really focusing on the selling point that we have never gotten a Bat family game. They're also playing around with a very risky platform here, because the Bat family hasn't been played around with, and a lot of these characters, though popular to us DC nerds, in the grand scheme of things, these characters are pretty next to irrelevant, I would say, for the basic community, the community that doesn't know about these things, really. So Nightwing, Tim Drake, Barbara Gordon, what's Jason Todd? I completely forgot what the other Gotham Knight was. These are obscure characters, and so it's going to be a risky selling point for WB Montreal to work with these characters, but if they can pull it off right, then I think they'll nail it. And Rocksteady is facing a similar problem with relatively obscure characters. Now, obviously, Harley Quinn isn't obscure at all, but Deadshot, King Shark, Captain Boomerang, these are pretty difficult characters to work with, if not more obscure than the Gotham Knights, except Rocksteady has proven to us time and time again that they can make a game sell, even if the characters involved in it are obscure. What I'm referring to Arkham Knight with the Scarecrow. Scarecrow is a pretty uncommon character. He's thought of as one of the, I guess, we have those levels of DC characters, and especially the rogues gallery of Batman, where they have, like, we've got the popular characters, the semi-popular characters, and the obscure ones. And Scarecrow is in the semi-popular area alongside, like, Mr. Freeze, the Riddler, and then, like, in popular, we've got, like, the Joker, Harley Quinn, the Penguin, those characters, the ones that are often featured in feature films. And Scarecrow was famously included in The Dark Knight, but he still didn't play that very much big of a role. He kind of became irrelevant after Batman Begins, and though he still played a part in the other movies, he still didn't shine. And yes, that's just me being biased towards Scarecrow, but it also is a point that I'm trying to make. Both of these studios, both of these huge multi-million-dollar studios are working with obscure characters, which means both of these games are probably going to have trouble selling, because we don't know these characters. And then here's the other thing. Gotham Knights is going to have more trouble than Suicide Squad picking up, as far as the villains go. We know that Gotham Knights is sturdy as far as the amount of villains go. We have a huge list of all of these villains that are going to be included in this game, and their main villain, which is going to make things difficult for them, is the Court of Owls. That's difficult. The Court of Owls are in that obscure section of the Batman Rogues Gallery. They are not popular. They're not very known amongst the community. It's really difficult to pick up a selling point off of these characters, off of the Court of Owls. Whereas Suicide Squad has a more popular character, which I'm just going to say right now. There's nothing wrong with having an obscure character as your villain, nor having an obscure character as your protagonist. The problem is how much it's going to sell. If I'm looking at two games, right? One game is like a Batman game, and one game is, let's say, a Wonder Woman game. Batman is a bigger selling point. So I'm going to know that character quicker. I'm going to have more memories of that character. So I'm going to buy that one first. So it's really going to be down to the line with these two games. And even though we're not trying to make them compete, chances are they're going to compete. The community wants them to compete. It's very clear that we want them to compete. And I do not. I'm going to be buying both of these games. I don't care about the competition, but the competition is still there nonetheless. Just because you don't care about it doesn't mean it's not there. So that's going to be a problem. These games are going to be competing, and that 1 year between their release dates is probably going to save Gotham Knights. It's really going to be their saving grace with this. Now, as far as consoles go, we know that Gotham Knights is going to be on both PS5 and Xbox One. Same goes for Suicide Squad. Now, I am a little bit uncertain with Suicide Squad, because Rocksteady has always given us exclusives on both ends, on the Xbox and on the PS end. And their most recent exclusive, as far as the Arkham series goes, is the virtual reality Batman. That was PlayStation. So I'm kind of pondering what Rocksteady's going to be doing this time with this game. Obviously, since I'm an Xbox player, I would love to see them do some sort of Xbox exclusive with this game. Chances are we won't see that, but I know that there's going to be continuous content coming off of this game, as they did with all of their other games, all of the other games in the series with the DLCs. I don't remember right off the top of my head if Arkham Asylum had DLCs, but I know that Arkham City and Arkham Knight had DLCs that came after release. As far as graphics go, I already touched about this in my quality section, but I really wanted to talk more about Gotham Knights, because I kind of mentioned it, and then I just kind of strayed away from it. Gotham Knights graphics worry me, and here's why. The cinematic trailer and the gameplay are drastically different. I already addressed that. But there are parts of that preview that reminisce of the game purposely lowering its graphics to run faster. And that is a way to do things. But being a good way is questionable. I personally don't like it when game companies do that. I prefer just the lag spikes so that I can continuously get that big performance boost. I really want to see the game be great instead of have the game be not so great so that I can run better. So it's really a trade-off with that type of stuff, with the latency issues. Honestly, I'm not that worried as far as with Gotham Knights. WB Montreal has proven to us that they can withhold a solid reputation, and they know what they're doing as developers, and they gave us Arkham Origins, so we know that they're solid. We know that they know what they're doing. I'm just a little bit worried with Gotham Knights right now, because, the release date is right around the corner. It's coming much faster than we think. So if they have enough time to boost those graphics and keep the performance running great, then good for them. But as of now, I'm a little bit worried as far as Gotham Knights goes. And I'm not worried at all as far as Suicide Squad goes, because Rocksteady, again, has been able to prove to us time and time again that they will make their games look extraordinary. Story. Now, this is the suffering point for Suicide Squad, and this is why I am legitimately afraid for the fate of Suicide Squad comparative to Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights has a pretty solid story. We know that they have a large rogues gallery. And we also know that the villain is the Court of Owls, which is, in my personal opinion, one of the most fascinating villains in the Batman Rogues Gallery. They're solid. Gotham Knights has got their story covered. Batman Arkham Origins proved to us that WB Montreal can write a good story. Gotham Knights has proven to us that they know how to pick a good villain. Put those two together, and they have a recipe for something great. Suicide Squad. That's not so much. This is a very unoriginal storyline. We have seen it before. Brainiac brainwashes the Justice League, and you have to send someone else to go fight him. Blah. It's bland. It's not new. I saw a thread on r/Suicide Squad Gaming recently that was basically theorizing what Rocksteady is going to do. We know that they know how to write a story. Rocksteady is very experienced with this stuff. They are pretty much the pinnacle of the gaming industry, in my personal opinion. They have been able to create solid games for us every single time they've released a new one. Even Arkham Knight, not the best in the series, or at least in the masses' opinion. I personally think it's a great game, but whatever. They've had a few missteps, but generally Rocksteady has been able to prove to us that they make great content. And with creative stories. Every single game that they've created has had a unique storyline from the other one. It's honestly surprising that they've been able to keep this series alive for so long. But it still worries me. Brainiac brainwashes the Justice League, send the Suicide Squad to go fight him. Boom, they probably lose against the Justice League because of the Justice League, but they take out Brainiac anyway, and then, woo, happy ending. I don't want that to happen. So back to that thread that I saw on Reddit, my idea here, or not my idea, but the user's idea, is that Brainiac actually clones the Justice League. Now, I don't know the logic behind that, so I really hope Rocksteady can explain that if they do end up doing something along those lines, but the basic idea is that Brainiac clones the Justice League, and you fight off the clones, and then you free the actual Justice League, and then you fight the clones, and then finish off Brainiac at the very end, alongside the actual Justice League, and then that gives you, like, a pardon, on, what's her name? Amanda Waller. So that's what I would love to see happen. I really like that idea for a storyline. It's creative, it's fresh, it's new, and they did already imply... It's literally in the name, Suicide Squad, kill the Justice League. And if Rocksteady wants to make their Flash game, if Rocksteady wants to make their Superman game, then you can't kill the Justice League. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. So, what is Rocksteady going to be doing? I really hope I truly, truly hope that Rocksteady comes up with something creative so that you can actually have a unique storyline that lasts a long time and has a great outcome. Rocksteady's fate as a gaming company for the years coming after Suicide Squad rests on the storyline. Because I swear on my own soul, if I wake up the day after Suicide Squad comes out and I hear the company getting bombarded by negative feedback on the storyline, I'm not going to be happy. Rocksteady makes quality games, and so does WB Montreal. If they butcher their games, then I don't know what's going to happen to them. I'm still going to play them, because they're still going to be good games, but Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad are both at risk right now. We really need to know more about the games, yes, but from what we know so far, they are at a huge risk of messing this up. So, my final thoughts. Which game is going to have a better outcome? Gotham Knights is much, much closer to releasing than Suicide Squad. And it's sad to say, but even despite that, Suicide Squad is almost guaranteed going to be a more quality game. It's almost guaranteed to have better graphics. This is Rocksteady we're talking about. The acting was great, and just that little trailer. The storyline for Suicide Squad, yes, is a little bit worrying, but Rocksteady has proven to us that they know how to write a storyline. And as far as the price of the game goes, my guess is that Rocksteady is going to price up this game. My guess is $40 to $60 for Suicide Squad. So that's probably going to be a problem for them, especially compared to Gotham Knights. But all in all, if you put all this together, Suicide Squad, in my personal opinion, is going to end up coming out on top. Now, if that changes, if I'm wrong, then I'm going to openly admit that. But as of now, I firmly believe that Suicide Squad is going to be a lot better than Gotham Knights. Those are just my thoughts. If you disagree, or you have more thoughts, or you agree, then make sure to put that down in the comments below, tweet it on Twitter, tag me, whatever. I love hearing your guys' thoughts, and see ya.